Hey everyone, this is going to be a very quick video. I just wanted to showcase some of the subtle tweaks and a couple of new features for this particular version before I put it out there on the forum. Okay, so there were a couple of things added to the previous build that I didn't cover in a video, so I'll try and cover those as quickly as I can in this one. So let's go into the theme creator, and let's see. Just trying to think the best view to try this on. They've all got animations. This one's okay. This one's all right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick one of these balloons because it casts a very good shadow. So a couple of things that you can do here is that once you've selected a UI element, okay, and as long as your mouse pointer is not in this window, by using the cursor keys you can actually move these selected UI element around. Okay, pressing and holding the shift button and pressing the cursor keys will move the object around a lot faster. Okay, and as you can see, it is still using the guidelines or guide wires there, the smart guides. All right. So you can see if it's at the edge or if it's the center of another object. And because now you have pixel by pixel movement using cursor keys, you are a lot more precise. Okay. As you can see here. There you go. So this object is center with the smaller balloon, the red balloon below. All right. So shift makes it move a lot faster. Pressing and holding the control key and the cursor keys, you can now resize an object in the same way. Okay. So again, more precision or enhanced precision. Now if you press shift and control at the same time and using the cursor keys, you can alter the angle. Okay. All right. So that's one thing. If you were not aware, it's very useful. And then as far as some of the UI tweaks on the properties panel, I've added dials and I've added more sliders. Okay. So in the dial, you can click on the gray focus area, and obviously this is for angle, as you can see, and you can move it around like so. Okay. Or what you can do, just place your mouse pointer inside the dial so it's highlighted blue, and again you can use your cursor keys to alter, in this case, the angle. All right. So again, for precision. Okay. As I scroll down, you can see the sliders. Now you can clearly see the low value, the high value, basically the range. Okay. And so let's tackle the shadow direction. Something I really should have done from day one, and I didn't, and for that I truly apologize. I've tried my best to kind of shy away from having you research kind of XAML properties for certain things, and tried to shy away from XAML or development terminology, so that you don't really need to know any of that stuff. You just basically want to paint on the screen. But for shadow direction, it was a text box, as you recall, and it had a range. And you know, obviously, if you're not familiar with XAML at all, you're just keying in numbers and seeing where the shadow will, you know, line up, and it's just trial and error, and that was awful of me to do that. So anyway, I've now corrected that. There is no text box, as you can see, and this dial will now clearly indicate exactly how the shadow will be cast. And as you can see, the little focus circle here is straight down, and so is the shadow. Okay, so again, just as before with angle, I can position the direction of the shadow, and you can clearly see in the dial exactly where the shadow will be positioned. Okay, and just like with the angle dial, as long as the mouse pointer is hovering over the dial and the dial is blue, then you can use your cursor keys for precision. Okay, like so. All right, so that's cursor keys while the mouse pointer is out, cursor keys over things like dial controls, and obviously it's a lot easier now to see visually angle and shadow direction. Okay, let me see. Yes, a date field. Additional date formats were requested, so I've added them. I can't remember which ones I've added now, but I have added more date fields. There is a time field over here. It's right behind the camera. I did add additional time formats as well, where you can actually break up the individual components. So the hour, the minutes, AM, PM. You can separate that out. So for example, one of the use cases for doing so, you may have a theme where you're showing an office environment or a game room environment, and maybe you have like a little digital clock image, and you want to be able to place hours and minutes into the appropriate areas in the clock image. Well, now you can do that, because you can specify hours, and then I can copy this one, and then I can paste, and then I can just simply say I want the minutes, and there you go. You've now got the hours and minutes separately. Okay. Let me see, what else? Oh yes, a big one. So let me get out of this view. Well, they're all big, I think. I think they're all kind of a big deal. But let me go to a text games view and go into edit. And let me see. Actually, right off the bat, the text list, I've got it centered here. It was reported to me that it was not quite centered. It was more to the right. I've kind of taken care of that. So it should be, more centered now. Let me see. I was going to add a text scroller. Okay, cool. And you know what? It doesn't matter where I put it. I can put it here. All right. Now, the number of properties have changed for the text scroller, and it was really, me making the text scroller kind of more in line with the text UI element, It has all the same properties available. You can make it a constant value. You can make it use a metadata field. It's entirely up to you. So I've included that just so that you've got complete flexibility over what content you're going to scroll and how you're going to scroll it. So I'm going to focus on the horizontal orientation because, one, I built the horizontal scroller and this is a revamped version since 107.3, okay? And obviously the vertical will take full use of these same values, okay? So let's see. We want first of all, I want the font size to be bigger, and then we're going to add a constant value, which is something that you couldn't do before. So there it is. Okay. I've added begin delay, which is new. So we can make it delay 3 before it starts to scroll in. Okay. And scroll speed. You can make it, well, let's get rid of this, the begin delay. There you go. So you can make it move fairly quickly, very quickly. All right. And like I said, you can pick metadata. Okay, so game name. And I know it's very quick. 1 is usually a good value to use. Okay. Now, I'm going to copy this scroller, and I'm going to paste another instance of it just above. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the content. So I'm going to change it to publisher. And as you can see, the top scroller is only made up of 3 characters, whereas the one below has X number of characters in it. But my point being is that they are of different lengths, but they scroll at exactly the same speed. So that was the very reason why I ended up writing my own horizontal scroller, because the one that was in use before did not do that. The length of the text would alter the speed of the scrolling, and that's just not, that just wasn't right. So that's what forced me to have a crack at writing my own, creating my own scroll text controller. Now, this has been in the hands of a friend of mine, Rincewind, for a good week, and he came up with some other use cases for the scroller. Typically, I use the horizontal scroller just like the one at the bottom here. It's used as a ticker, obviously using a different font and different color, blah 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 blah. But that's generally how I use the horizontal scroller. Fairly basic stuff. That wasn't good enough for Rincewind. So what I'll do, I'll demonstrate. It's easier to show you than just create it from scratch. So he shared one of his themes. I don't know if it's a test theme or a theme that he's going to be uploading to the forum, but this is why he wanted me to make tweaks to the horizontal scroller. So if we look to the left of the information panel for a selected platform, you can see it will show various bits and pieces of information for sound, memory, media, CPU, etc., etc. Now, the one that's scrolling here is because it cannot fit. It cannot fit in the area in which he's the width of the area that he is set, and the text extends beyond that. Now, usually you can set it to wrap if you've set it deep, and it will wrap around, or you would simply say text trim, and then you would get the dot 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 at the end. Well, he didn't want that. He's like, no, I actually want to see the whole value, but if it can scroll so you can see the remaining contents and then for it to scroll back, that would be great. So that's essentially what I ended up doing. And to control that, we have these additional values here. So scroll if too long. Okay, so it's now switched off. We've got this huge begin delay here, so we'll just wait. So here it comes, just like a normal ticker. All right, but as soon as you say no, scroll if too long, it looks like a typical text label that you would have to show a piece of information. And then after the begin delay, it starts to scroll. It hits the end of the text, bounces back. Okay. And then obviously auto reverse just allows it to kind of scroll back to its original starting point. But what you can do is you can do something like this. So if I click on Panasonic, for example, uncheck or disable scroll if too long. Let's get rid of the begin delay, and let's just change the scroll speed to 1. Begin delay, yeah, let's change that to 0 actually. So now we have Panasonic come in, bounce back. So now, instead of just a standard ticker, we're leveraging the auto reverse, so it will just simply just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And again, you guys may find a use case for displaying some information in that way, and that's great. Or you can disable it, and you're back to a standard ticker. Okay. But my point being is you have a lot more options now available to you, and you can thank Rincewin for that, for putting these ideas forward. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, that's about it really. It was really just those are the things that you can leverage. Right now, there were a number of fixes under the covers. Language, being able to use published themes over a shared network in your house, for example, or via a NAS device, which I've never seen Big Box used in that way before, but apparently it is used in that way, and my generated themes were causing missing image issues, so that's fixed as part of this build. So for those of you that have actually got themes out there on the forum that were generated using the theme creator, when you see this build, it is imperative that you download this build and republish your themes and re-upload them to the forum, so that those users can re-download them and enjoy your hard work, because they will now work as the DLLs that are published with your theme are the updated bug-free versions, okay, or corrected versions. So yeah, it's very imperative that you take this version, republish your themes. I know they're big in some cases, and it will take a while, but again, it's really for those individuals that they want to be able to enjoy your theme, and right now some of them cannot do that. Okay, so this will enable those of them that are missing out to not miss out. So, like I said, I just wanted to keep this video somewhat short, go over some of the new tweaks, and just show you some of the tricks, like the cursor keys, just in case you weren't aware that you could do that. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm going to be working on the next enhancement, but obviously if any critical bugs come up post release of this build, then obviously I will stop what I'm doing, work on the bug fix for that, and issue a patch as quickly as I can. But in the meantime, like I said, once you see this on the forum, enjoy it, and I certainly enjoy seeing your creations out there on the forum. It's just awesome. So be safe, and I'll catch you in a week or 2 weeks when I have something else to show you. All right, take care.